Assalamu alaikum, guys. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and my conversion and kind of how it went, how it progressed. So a little bit of background. I'm obviously white, British, born and raised in Birmingham, like the outskirts of Birmingham. So it wasn't, you know, massively Muslim area. There were Muslims about. Never really had a lot to do with them. So I went to school. A couple of Muslims in my school, you know, didn't really have much to do with them. They kind of kept to themselves, a little bit segregated. It was a long time ago, so it was like that then. And over the years, you know, I've lived a bit of a wild life. Used to drink a lot, used to take drugs, used to get into a lot of fights, things like that. So when I was drinking, it made me not a very nice person. I was always violent, man. I was always fighting, always getting into trouble, getting arrested, all that kind of thing. And then in 2014, when I got married, I got arrested on my wedding night and I got tasered. Since that night, I've never drunk again. Still nothing to do with, you know, never looked into Islam or anything like that. I've never drunk since. Didn't suit me, so I decided to make a change for the better and stop doing it. So in that respect, I was kind of, you know, I never drank anyway, so it's not something I've missed when I've reverted. Then I've got 7 children altogether, so I've tried to be a better dad to them, a good dad to them. I live with 5 of them and I still see the other 2 regularly. So I've always tried to be a good dad. I've always tried to be a good person, really. And then probably a couple of years ago, I came across Speaker's Corner on YouTube and it just took my interest. And then from that, the person speaking at Speaker's Corner, I think was Ali Dawa, or it might have been Mohammed Hijab, I can't remember. So from there I went to their channels and I started watching their content, which made me interested in Islam. The way they were putting things across, it just all rang true to me. Like, it's the life I wanted to live. It's a life that's where you try and be a good person. That's pretty much the gist of it. So I started to read the Qur'an on and off, and then that sort of fizzled out. I just carried on with my life. I've got my own business, so I'm busy anyway all the time. And then I just kept going back to it every few months. It had just, something would ring in my brain and I'd go back to it. And then probably about 4 or 5 months ago, I started really looking into it. I was watching a lot of Dawah videos, stuff like that. And it was all just making sense to me. So I carried on reading the Qur'an. I spoke to a few Muslims. I live in Evesham now, which is a very heavily white and Christian kind of place. So there's not really many Muslims around me, but there's a few Turkish Muslims in the shops. So I started speaking to them. They were quite helpful. And then I decided on the 28th of March that's it. I wanted to commit to Islam. So I went to Reverted Masjid and I asked somebody there if someone was there to do my shahada. So they told me that the English speaking imam would be there at about 6 o'clock, just after Asr prayer. So a guy, Brother Mohammed, nice fellow, older fella, he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. He said, look, you want to drive me to my house and we'll have a chat and I'll explain a few things to you. So I went with him, went into his house, lovely, his family were lovely, and he was telling me bits and bobs about the Shahada, about Islam, things that I needed to do. So I went back at 6 o'clock, I met him there, did Asr prayer, well, the best way I could. I'm still learning to pray now. But yeah, I went through it. I just felt some kind of really strange, first time I ever felt real peace. And then I did my Shahada, which I'll put on the channel a lot. Somebody videoed it for me, so I'll put that on the channel so people can see what it's about. Yeah, man, I felt something, I don't know what it was. I just felt like a strange sense of peace. yeah, it was the right thing for me. So yeah, I'm going to try and document a few bits and bobs. Like, it's difficult for me. I've got a big family, I've got my own business, and I'm always busy. I try and get to the masjid when I can. You know, even praying 5 times a day is hard, but it's something that I'm learning along the way, and I'm trying to be better at. So, you know, inshallah, I will get better at that. But yeah, man, it's just a journey that suited me, and I think a lot more people are starting to revert to Islam as well in England. But yeah, man, I'll keep you all updated. Thanks for watching.